It's time for another mock draft review video. And for this mock draft, we have a Dynasty Startup PPR third round reversal for you today. And I will be going through and rating these teams and letting you know my favorite picks, my least favorite picks, some added notes in their 2022 ranking. And before we get started, make sure and hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And while you're down there, go in our description and get in our Discord so that you can draft with us and I can rate your team. And so let's just hop right into it. And so in the first spot, we have Gary's team. My favorite pick of Gary's was Travis Etienne at the 411. My least favorite pick, on the other hand, was DK Metcalf at the 212. I personally would rather have T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, and Chris Godwin. I just don't love the situation DK Metcalf finds himself in. Some added notes are the QBs and running backs are fantastic, but the wide receiver and tight end room is definitely something to worry about, and that will hold this team back. But for 2022, I have Gary's team ranked as 6th overall. And then in the second spot, we have Swamp Nola. My favorite pick of theirs was James Conner at the 511. My least favorite pick was Damian Harris at the 711. Give me Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette, Calvin Ridley, Brandon Cooks, and Deshaun Watson over him. I just don't like running backs a whole bunch that don't have receiving upside, and Damian Harris is definitely that guy. Some added notes is outside of the wide receivers, this is just an all-around solid team, and I love the Burrow and Chase stack that gives this team an even higher upside. My 2022 rank for Swamp Nola's team is 5th overall. In the third slot, we have my team. My favorite pick of mine was Darren Waller at the 603. My least favorite pick, on the other hand, was Mike Gesicki at the 1203. Tyreek in town just drops Gesicki down even more in tight end rankings, especially in Dynasty. Some added notes is that this is an extremely well-rounded team that will definitely make a playoff run. My 2022 rank for my own team is 3rd overall. And then in the 4th slot, we have Numbnuts. Yes, I said that right. And my favorite pick of theirs was Zach Ertz at the 1004. My least favorite pick, on the other hand, was Josh Allen at the 309. I love Josh Allen, don't get me wrong, but he could have gotten him at the 404 with how late a lot of these quarterbacks were going. So he could have got someone like Chris Godwin or Deontay Johnson over Jerry Jeudy, who he got at that 404. Some added notes is ignoring those last 2 picks that were obviously very goofy picks, but James Robinson was definitely drafted too early in the 7th round. My 2022 rank for Numbnuts is 11th overall. Joey left this draft, but in the 5th slot, we do have Joey's team. My favorite pick of his was Aaron Jones at the 508. My least favorite pick was Rondale Moore at the 908. Kadarius Toney just showed more upside in my opinion, though injuries held him back. Moore, even with DeAndre Hopkins out, had a hard time finding the field, and that is definitely something that worries me going forward. Some added notes is this is a fantastic starting lineup, but a terrible bench. But my 2022 rank for Joey's team is 4th overall. In the 6th spot, we have Craig from Roto Heat. My favorite pick of his was Cordell Patterson at the 1006. My least favorite pick was Michael Pittman at the 307. We discussed it a little in the Discord, but he just shouldn't be considered, in my opinion, until the 5th round. Some added notes is this is definitely a win now team, but this team needs to make some trades to make that happen. For 2022, I have Craig's team ranked as 7th overall. And then in the 7th slot, we have our guest, Scott, a.k.a. Munder Difflin. My favorite pick of his was T. Higgins at the 306. My least favorite pick was Deebo Samuel at the 107. I have him as my wide receiver 13 in Dynasty, and he was taken here at the wide receiver 3 spot. So that's just way too rich for my blood. Some added notes is that Leonard Fournette is definitely tied with my favorite pick with T. Higgins. That's just such great value he got for him. The 2022 rank for Scott's team is 8th overall. And in the 8th spot, we have Arsenal. My favorite pick of theirs was Marquise Hollywood Brown at the 608. My least favorite pick, on the other hand, was Antonio Brown at the 1105. Some added notes is the Mahomes-Kelsey stack should be even better with Tyreek in Miami. Kelsey should get a crazy target share this year. And 2022 rank I have for Arsenal's team is 9th overall. And then in the 9th spot, we have Brady's team. My favorite pick of theirs was Michael Gallup at the 904. My least favorite pick was Cortland Sutton at the 609. I understand the hype behind him, but I'd rather have Darnell Mooney or Chris Olave over Cortland Sutton here. Some added notes is Kenneth Walker is not going to be a solid RB2 since he's not a pass catcher. and I'm just not willing to spend a 5th round startup pick on him. I just don't think he's the next Nick Chubb. I think he's closer to that Damian Harris. And if we remember, Damian Harris didn't do much his first 2 years. And my 2022 rank for Brady's team is 10th overall. And then in the 10th spot, we have Simon's team. My favorite pick of his is Kyle Pitts at the 203. My least favorite pick, on the other hand, was Terry McLaurin at the 303. Simon loves McLaurin. He has him as a top 10 dynasty wide receiver. I'm pretty sure he has him as a wide receiver 6, but I have him personally as the wide receiver 20. So it's really just Simon getting his guy. Some added notes is his RBs aren't great, especially with your starters being on the same team, and he acknowledged that during the mock draft, but the rest of his team can really make up for that. My 2022 rank for Simon's team is 2nd overall. In the 11th spot, we have JMO Infinite. My favorite pick of theirs was Cooper Kupp at the 111. My least favorite pick was Rachaad White at the 811. Chase Edmonds would have been a much better and safer pick, in my opinion. Some added notes are the assets on this team are built for a win-now team, but this team needs to rebuild. So I'd trade the older guys for a future and just completely blow up this team going forward and go full rebuild. My 2022 rank, of course, for JMO Infinite's team is 12th overall. And then in the 12th spot, we have JL's team. My favorite pick of his was Deshaun Watson at the 812. My least favorite pick was Rashad Bateman at the 612. There were much better picks still available for this win-now team, and Bateman honestly just shouldn't be drafted to the 9th round. JL is a Ravens fan, so it was probably a little bit of a homer pick, and again, I have no problems getting your guy, but it's just a little too early for me. Some added notes is the last 4 picks aren't my favorite, but this team is full of studs. My 2022 rank for JL's team is 1st overall. I just want to thank you all so much for coming out and watching this mock draft review. And before you leave, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And again, go down there in our description. We have our Discord link. Get in our Discord so that we can draft with you. And then on top of that, I can review each one of your teams. And just a reminder that we stream every weekday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And so make sure you come out and watch and have some fun in the chat. Until next time.